So just before we get into today's review, Sunday's review is going to be of Suicide Squad, and yeah, that's literally this intro. So let's well, this is the pre-intro, I guess. So let's roll the intro and then get into this review. So Saturday's review was of Pain and Gain with Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson, and as you can see, because if you've watched my review of Doom, he was actually called The Rock in that movie, and now his name has changed to just Dwayne Johnson, his actual name, by the time this movie came out. This movie is about three bodybuilders who decide to kidnap this guy who has millions of dollars and basically take everything he has because they want to live the American dream. They want to be rich. And they definitely live the lavish life for quite a few months, I would say, anyway. They have giant houses, they have money to buy pretty much anything, cars, and then they start to slowly run out of money and they get hungry again. So they go find this porn star director to try to take his money too, and he doesn't trust them, and they end up killing him by accident. And then, yeah, everything just starts to slowly spiral downward from there because they end up killing the porn star director and his wife. And then they have to find a way to get rid of the bodies. And, yeah, so they get caught in the end. This was actually based on a true story. Two of the guys were sentenced to death, and the third guy who they recruited a little later on in the movie, well, actually, just before they start doing all the stealing and embezzling, fraud, all that kind of stuff, he was actually in prison before and gets released, and then they find him and recruit him, and he's a man of Jesus, so he actually ends up getting to know the first guy who they kidnapped, to take his money, and that was actually quite funny because when he gets up on the stand at the end of the movie, he just confesses to everything, and says they manipulated him, the other two guys manipulated him, and what they did, and the kidnappings, and the killing, and it looked like they might get off, but be free, but unfortunately the crimes they committed were just too good, and they did end up finding the bodies, so that was definitely what got them the death penalty. But I mean, you don't really mess around with that kind of stuff. There is legitimate ways to make money, so don't try to steal. So this happened in between 1994 and 1995. So, I mean, the American dream is to be rich, to live the lavish life, to be the best person you can be, and it just kind of got to their heads. I mean, the guy who was in charge of the operations was actually a fairly smart guy, to be completely honest. Like, his plans were pretty much foolproof for, like, just your every average day, like, bodybuilder. You wouldn't like, I know a lot of people stereotype, so you're thinking, oh, well, no, there's no way he'd be that smart. All he does is just roid up and get jacked, and I mean, yes, that's what he was into, but he also knew numbers. He knew how to, yeah, he knew what he was doing, so that's for sure. So, I would give this movie a 5 out of 5. It was funny, certainly funny in parts. The Rock's character ends up hitting rock bottom, literally, because he's gets back into drugs once he has all his money, and he ends up marrying this girl who's a stripper, and apparently, like, I don't know whether this is true, apparently worked for the CIA or something at one point in time, and then wants to become a movie star. So, I would say... Anyhow, she wants to become a movie star, and then at the end of the movie, they show the comparison between the actual people who played the characters and the actual people who performed the real acts, and one of them gets released, a couple of them died in prison. Obviously, the two that were sentenced to the death penalty didn't make it out of prison. And the girl who said that she wanted to be a movie star currently isn't a movie star, but she did live through the experience, and so did the other guy, and their names were both changed to protect them. So this was definitely an interesting movie. If you're into action movies, I would say this is definitely an action movie. So go give it a watch. Like, comment, subscribe, give me your rating of the movie if you've seen it before. If you haven't seen it and you like this review, give the review a thumbs up. And I will see you guys again tomorrow with a review of Suicide Squad.